Have you ever felt like the more you think, the more lost you become? Have you asked yourself big questions, like what's the point of all this? Or who am I really? Well, thinking isn't always about having answers. Sometimes it's about looking inside and finding things you didn't even know were there. That's what real thinking is, what philosophers do. They don't pretend to know everything, they just stay curious. They ask, they wonder, and they sit with the hard questions instead of running from them. So if you've ever felt confused, curious, or just a little lost, you're in the right place. This is your moment to slow down, reflect, and maybe even see the world and yourself a little differently. If this speaks to you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Mind in the Mirror for more deep thoughts and quiet wisdom. Part 1. What it really means to be a philosopher. When you hear the word philosopher, what comes to mind? Maybe an old man with glasses, reading thick books filled with confusing words. Maybe someone is talking about things that don't seem to matter in real life. But real philosophy isn't about showing off big ideas, it's about asking honest questions and being brave enough to face the answers. A true philosopher isn't someone who has everything figured out. They're someone who knows it's okay not to. They don't run away from life's messy parts. They hold the confusion, the pain, and the questions. And they try to understand them, even when it's hard. They sit with their thoughts, even the uncomfortable ones. They ask themselves, do I really believe this? Or did someone just teach me to believe it? They don't just accept things as they are, they look deeper. They question their own habits, their past, and their ideas. Philosophers don't just go through life, they slow down and examine it, they look for meaning, even if it's hidden. And they're not afraid to sit in silence until something real begins to speak from within. That's what makes philosophy so powerful. It's not about being smart, it's about being honest. Part 2. The power of self-reflection. Socrates once said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." But he didn't mean you have to solve every problem or answer every deep question. What he really meant was this: try to live in a way that's honest with yourself. Ask yourself, why do I do the things I do? Or, do I really believe in this? Or am I just following the crowd? These are not easy questions, but they matter. They help you see who you truly are beneath all the noise of the outside world. Every time you stop and look inside yourself, even if it's just for a moment, you grow. You become a little braver, a little wiser. You don't need to have all the answers, you just need to be willing to look, willing to feel, willing to ask. That's what makes a difference, not being perfect, but being real. Even when it's uncomfortable, being honest with yourself is the first step toward real peace. And that's what Socrates was talking about, not solving life like a puzzle, but living it with open eyes and a true heart. Part 3. When thinking becomes a trap. Sometimes thinking too much can turn into a trap. Have you ever sat with a thought for so long that it started to feel heavy? Instead of helping you find answers, it just made you feel more confused or stressed? That's what happens when we don't give our minds a break. Thinking is a good thing, but only when it stays balanced. If we think too deeply, without rest, it can become overthinking. What started as wonder can turn into worry. What began as reflection can turn into obsession. And before we know it, we're stuck in our own thoughts, going in circles with no way out. This is why real philosophy isn't just about the mind, it also needs heart. It takes courage to stop chasing every single answer. It takes strength to sit with the unknown and not panic. So philosophy isn't about thinking until you break down, it's about knowing when to pause, when to breathe, when to let go. True wisdom means knowing that not every thought needs to be solved. Some just need to be felt, understood, and gently set aside. That's how we stay human in the middle of deep thought. Part 4. Doubt isn't the end, it's the beginning. René Descartes, a famous philosopher, once questioned everything, even his own body. He wasn't sure if anything around him was real. The only thing he felt sure about was one thought: I think, therefore I am. That one idea became the center of his belief. But life isn't only about thinking. Yes, thoughts are important, but being alive also means feeling, loving, hurting, laughing, and connecting with others. We aren't just thinking machines, we're human. And being human means living through all kinds of emotions and experiences. Doubt is a part of life. It shows up when we ask big questions, when we feel lost, or when things don't make sense. But doubt is not the finish line, it's the beginning. It's where deep understanding starts. Instead of being afraid of doubt, we can learn to welcome it. Let it guide us, but not control us. Let it open new doors instead of closing them. Descartes started with doubt, but it didn't stop there, and neither should we. In the end, what makes life full is not just our thoughts, but how we live, love, and grow with them, even when the light feels dim. Part 5. The beauty of not knowing. To think like a philosopher doesn't mean you need to know everything. In fact, it often means the complete opposite. It's about being okay with not knowing. It's about accepting some of life's biggest questions, like, why am I here, or what happens after I die? Don't come with clear or simple answers. And that's okay. Most people feel nervous when they say, I don't know. It can feel like weakness, like you're not smart enough or not doing life the right way. But saying, I don't know, can actually be one of the most honest and powerful things you can do. It shows that you're open, that you're still learning, that your mind and heart are still growing. That's not a weakness, that's real strength, that's wisdom. Learning to live with not knowing makes you more patient with yourself and with others. It helps you slow down, ask better questions, and listen more deeply. Sometimes, the search for answers teaches you more than the answers themselves ever could. So don't be in a rush to fix every question, try sitting with them instead. Let them shape your thoughts, soften your heart, and make you more curious about life. Because in the end, living with the questions, gently, honestly, and openly, is often more meaningful than finding the right answer. Part 6. Trusting the process. Thinking like a philosopher is a lot like walking through fog. You can't always see what's ahead. The path feels unclear. Everything around you looks soft, blurry, and uncertain. It can even feel a little scary, especially when you're used to having clear plans and solid answers. But here's the thing. You keep going. Step by step, even if you're unsure. You don't wait for the fog to clear before you move. You don't wait for the perfect answer before you begin your journey. Instead, you trust that something important will come as you move forward. Maybe not the answer you expected, but something honest, something real about who you are. Philosophy isn't about having all the answers. It's not about being the smartest person in the room or having everything figured out. It's about being honest with yourself, with your thoughts, and with your feelings. And that kind of honesty takes real courage. Life isn't a math problem. It's not about solving every little piece. It's about learning how to walk with the unknown. It's about facing the mystery and not giving up when things don't make sense. Yes, the fog might stay for a while, but each step teaches you something. Each question helps you grow, and in time, you don't just find answers. You find yourself. And sometimes, that's the most meaningful thing of all. Part 7. The Mind in the Mirror. So how do you think like a philosopher without losing your mind? Well, the honest truth is, you might lose a few parts of it. But maybe that's not such a bad thing. You'll let go of old beliefs that don't feel true anymore. You'll start to question the stories you've been telling yourself, stories about who you are, what you should be, and how the world works. Some of those stories may have helped you once, but others might be holding you back. You'll also stop pretending to be someone you're not. You'll begin to see through the masks, the roles, and the noise. And in that space, when things feel quiet and real, that's where something new can grow. Something more honest. No, you might not become a famous philosopher, you might never write a book or stand on a stage giving deep talks. But that's okay. Because you'll start to live in a way that feels true to you. You'll learn to hear your own voice again, not the loud one that comes from fear or pressure, but the gentle one that comes from your heart. And sometimes, when you stop trying to find all the answers, the most important truths show up in the silence, not as loud thoughts, but as a quiet knowing, something simple, something real. And that's the kind of wisdom no book can teach. So, what if you don't need to have all the answers? What if it's okay not to know everything? To think like a philosopher, you don't need to be perfect, you just need to stay curious. Can you ask the hard questions and still keep going? Can you sit with your thoughts instead of running from them? Sometimes, the answers don't come right away, and that's okay. Maybe life isn't about fixing every problem or solving every puzzle. Maybe it's about learning to sit with the mystery, with open eyes and a calm heart. And maybe, that's enough. If this made you think, even just a little, please like this video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe to Mind in the Mirror for more gentle wisdom and quiet reflection.